The king's back. 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 The king's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Turn my light on. What's going on, everybody? I am the actual King Smith, and this is day 2 of your boy being furloughed. Instead of going live early in the morning before I would have my job, I decided to go live a little bit later on, give myself some time to wake up, knock some errands out in the morning time, and then just kind of get on here and chop it up. Turn the mic on, turn the cam on, and chop it up for a bit as I am furloughed. But that does not mean I don't have things to do. Life doesn't stop just because your boy is not working. I am thankful that I'm in a better position than I was back in 2019, 2020, because that first furlough that happened, your boy was living paycheck to paycheck. But that was a wake-up call for me. That was a huge, huge wake-up call for me to work my way out of debt, work my way into a more positive net worth so that if something does happen, I'll be okay. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm not saying that I'm sitting comfortable and happy and not worried, but I'm not worried because I'm not as worried as I was in 2019 because I am in a lot better position than I was back then. I have a plan and I'm executing that plan. If you're prior military, depending on what your job was, you know what a op plan is, right? And I won't get too much in depth into it, but basically, if there is something that could happen, our government and some think tanks and smart people have already planned for it. There is an operational plan in place to execute based on the parameters of what has happened. And what's interesting about it in today's day and age, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit on my live stream today, is the fact that we have AI now that can do a lot of these operational plans type thing for us. I can imagine that the people that were smart that created some of these op plans for the government like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, as these plans get updated and adjusted for current market situations and things like that, that there's probably some prompt engineer like I can, that can go in there and take an op plan, run it through the ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, any of these LLMs, and ask for like a SWOT analysis of it, and how would you update it? And instead of taking what would have been, I don't know, maybe 120 man hours to come up with this updated operational plan, you could have AI do this and update it within seconds, minutes, depending on the scope of the op plan and what needs to happen. That's the world that we're living in right now. A real world example of this is I used AI kind of for notorious reasons the other day, and I'm going to talk about a Facebook post that I put up here in a second. This is going to be where I address it, because I had some text messages and phone calls about a post that I put, and I'm going to bring that up here in about 2 to 3 minutes, but I've got to get this point out first. I used AI when ChatGPT kind of first came on to take a look at my finances and things. Now, I have an accountant that I am about to no longer do business with, because for my early analysis of ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Grok, those are the three that I use. I don't have the free version of all of those. I have the paid version. I look at it as investing in myself, essentially. I don't need to pay my accountant $590 every year to like go over my personal and business taxes. I've had AI take a look at my past year's tax returns and expenses and everything, and make recommendations, give me analysis of things like how much should I withhold, what are things that I can claim based on my business and things like that, just based on me doing social media and all this other stuff. And the AI analysis gave me back, and I did this with Grok, ChatGPT, and Google Gemini. The analysis that it gives you is on par or better and faster, right? It's instant almost for what I needed by entering the prompt, right? Doing a little bit of pre-setup. Like, for example, I had to load and scan like the receipts, write up the expenses that I normally had. I had to go find all of my tax returns, scan it and upload it, and then put that in there. And then from there, right, you've heard the term garbage in, garbage out. Well, if you need to kind of think through what the prompt needs to be, so that when you're writing the prompt, you can get the analysis that's going to be the most beneficial for you. So I'm okay paying, $20 a month for ChatGPT. I've always had Google Premium, and the version of Google Premium that I have is a grandfathered version. So I'm thankful that I got into that early. I want to say I pay $15.99 a month for Google Premium, and that came with like the early version of the access to Google Gemini's models, as well as YouTube Premium. And then I pay for X, formerly known as Twitter, for the verification. But for that verification, you also get access to Grok. It's like not the free version, but it's not as the most advanced version. But the version that they offer is still a good version. And it does those type of things. It could be your accountant. It could be your financial advisor. It can do so many things that when I'm looking at, okay, I'm paying roughly $40-something a month for access to this software that can replace other avenues. It's an expense that I'm using, and you can expense some of this depending on how you use it. It's a business expense that I can expense that's a lot cheaper than paying $500 annually for my accountant. Plus, however much money for some other business related thing, or just your time. Some of the knowledge that's out there could be found out by researching it yourself. I was talking to a homie of mine today that's looking at running a business, and I was telling him, hey, if you haven't, go look at the Frederick Chamber of Commerce. They do things for small businesses that could be advantageous for you. You have to give up some time to go to the Frederick Chamber of Commerce, see when they have these meetings, pull up to these meetings to get that information. But what if you could put in a prompt that could relay that information to you, customized to your needs, that could help create a business plan, help figure out how to get grants, write the damn grants for you to secure funding. And instead of paying somebody to do that, or instead of it taking you what used to be, if you were a moderate SME, subject matter expert, 4 to 5 hours to get this information, write up the plan, and present it to somebody, you could get it done in under 30 seconds. I used AI to analyze how my next 5 to 6 months is going to look with this government shutdown. And I uploaded my bank statements, credit card statements, all of my financials for the last 90 days. And I said, take a look at any recurring expenses, any onesies, twosies, things like that. Categorize everything. Look at my cash flow over the next 180 days and let me know how I look. Where can I cut things off at, assuming that this is the only income that I'm going to have coming in, because I'm not going to have income from my regular 9 to 5, and let me know where I can make changes. Make recommendations for me. Ask me any clarifying questions from what I upload that could help this analysis out, right? Doing that kind of thing right there saved me from having to hire a financial advisor. And the analysis that it gave, because I'm a pretty smart person myself, was spot on. But it did it faster. And I'm executing off of that plan, knowing that, hey, for the next 6 months, I'll be okay without having to change anything currently. All right. Shout out to the Sports Bar USA. Sports Bar said, what do you hear? What do you say? Government work does not include pay. Yeah, I mean, yep. Look, I was working without pay, and now I'm no longer working. And people are saying that the 2019 act that was passed is going to pay people that were furloughed and those that were accepted. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I'm planning for the worst case scenario. I'm planning for accepted workers to get their back pay for the work that they've been doing. And those that were designated furlough, not going to get what they were making. That's how I'm going into this until I hear otherwise, because there was a clear difference between the way that our leadership, right, our elected officials, our president, and everybody else under him, there's a clear difference in the language and how they're saying things now versus how they were saying things then, off of the same piece of legislation. That should concern you. It concerns me. So I'm going to plan for the worst case scenario, which is what I had AI do for me. And if the worst case scenario doesn't happen, great. I'm still in a better position having planned for the worst case scenario than if I would have planned for the best case scenario. And I got to stop the bots from popping in because the bots are popping in. Now, I'm going to showcase something here. And this is the only place that I am going to address it on. So if you tried to call me about this or text me about it, here's where I'm going to talk about it. I made a post on my Facebook page yesterday. This is the photo right here. All right. And in the words I said, cat's out the bag. She offered $30,000 for some top flight Smith DNA, and I accepted. Now here's the deal. This baby is a real baby. This is not AI. Me. This is the actual picture of me. This person here, artificial intelligence, AI generated. I even added, let me see if I added here, because there was a comment where it said AI is getting crazy. And I'm like, it's not AI, which is sort of true, sort of not true. And then where was the other photo that I added? There were some people that said, I'm calling BS. Hey, darling. So darling commented. And I put that up. Here's another photo. So this is actually me. This is actually the baby. But the photo with this person in it is not real. And there was one more photo that I put up here with me and my lady in it. I think I'm going to have to go with all comments here and then find it. So my lady wrote, a real woman stands by her man. And this was accurate because in this photo here, this is Michelle, this is me, and this is the kid, which is real, but this is AI. This photo that I use right here, this is with Michelle added in via AI. And it took me 15 seconds to produce this. It took me longer to find the photos and put in the correct prompt to make this like work out good, because sometimes the lighting isn't right. So then now you got to like say something to the effects of relight the photo to make it natural based on people's skin tone, to where it gets it to where it looks a little bit more real. And with the way that people edit photos, post edit anyway, it's hard to tell really what's real and what's not. So, do I have a kid with somebody and get $30,000 for it? No, I did not. I had a vasectomy several years ago, probably about a decade or so ago now. So there is no more skiing and producing kids over here. Shout out to Jason. Jason said that it was trolling. Absolutely. It was absolutely trolling. This is what happens when I get furloughed. I get bored and I do stupid stuff. Pause right now for the live stream. If there's a like button on your platform, do me a favor. Hit the like button. That tremendously helps me out. Let me see if I can get that scrolling across the bottom here. Right there. Bam. Hit the like button for your boy. Help me out. Helps me out on the algorithms right now. Got a couple of people watching. I appreciate y'all tuning in. So we're on day 2 of the furlough for me right now. Jason said, am I trying to drop hints? Nah, there's no hints, man. You looking happy as hell with 2 ladies. I could say that I was looking happy as hell with 2 ladies. I don't think Michelle would say that, King. Now, her and I, we've joked about that kind of stuff in the past, but she's a jealous person. She will say that. And I think she has said that out loud. She is a monogamous person, and she wants her man to be a monogamous-minded individual. But nah, it was I'm thankful that she was okay with me posting that, right? Because I joke, I'm a prankster. Y'all that know me know that. And the good thing about doing that, and it's kind of good and bad, because it one day might come back to bite me in the ass. I've posted some things that were real that people don't know if it wasn't real or real. And I will never reveal what those things were, but just know that, life is short and I'm having fun. I'll keep it at that. So I'm on day 2 of the furlough. I've got a couple of things set up today. Today's about taking care of some small things. Got some Christmas cards coming out. Jason, if you want a Christmas card, DM me your address so we can send it out. We're going to go with an interesting theme this year. Not going to reveal it. Mike Larson's going to get his like he does every year. And Mike, that's your fault. It's your fault for getting these Christmas cards because you would always send me some Christmas cards, even though I don't want Christmas cards. So this is Mike Larson's fault that these Christmas cards are coming out. So my lady and I are going to get those out. I've got some general cleaning up that I need to do, some stuff that I've been putting off for just weeks, organizational related things. I've got to organize some stuff. I shared on The King and Me, which is a live stream that my lady and do every Monday across all platforms at 7 p.m. Eastern. We talk about modern relationships and datings, and we're opening up our relationship very publicly as we're both okay with doing that. People will say you shouldn't put your information and your relationships out there public like that. I think that that's solid advice that would apply for most people. I'm strong enough in my beliefs that I'm not as easily influenced by outside ideas. And we're trying to showcase the good that's out there because there's a lot of bad. You can easily turn on the news, turn on TV, walk outside, talk to people, and just hear how bad things are. So we're trying to showcase the good. We will highlight the bad. And the reason why we do that is 2 reasons. One, it's a lot easier to find the bad. People that are doing the good, they're not as public. They're private about themselves, and great for them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. My challenge to that, though, is that how can people learn? How can people see what to model if they don't see people doing good? A recent conversation that I had was about how my 2 sisters, what great relationship have they seen that they could model themselves, that if that's what they were looking for, right? Because relationships aren't the end all be all. But since one of my live streams is about dating and relationships, if you're not following The King and Me, let me put The King and Me's YouTube channel here in the comment section, but I've got to go get the link. On my link tree is a link to all the platforms that I typically do things on. But one of the conversations that I had was like, I don't really think that my sisters have had any relationships that they could use to model a good relationship on themselves. And that's no slight to my mom. That's no slight to them at all. I'm trying to get the link. Share channel. Here we go. That is no slight to my mom. Mom, I mean no shade by that. But check your track record. She's listening and she might be mad. Let's see. Let me hit paste. But they haven't necessarily had, like, there's one person that I could think about that when I go back to when I was young, I'm talking like teenager, right? Starting to smell myself, really understand, like, liking other people and things like that, to where I am now at 41 years old. I have above me, right? People that were adults when I was younger. One couple that I could positively look at and say, hey, if you're a guy, look at how he did things. Maybe ask him as a relationship mentor, what are some things to consider? And then his spouse, his wife, I would say to other young women, look at her, ask her, think about the things that she might offer you. I'm not saying do what they do. I'm saying they've survived, not survived, because survive is the right word. Like, oh man, I survived 30 years being in a relationship. That's a bad way to say that. Let me walk that. Hold on, let me do this. Let me walk that back. I've been in a 30-year relationship. It's had its ups and downs. This is how we make things work. Consider this. There are people, and it's a smart, but again, out of all the people I know, everybody who I've networked with, one couple. I won't say who they are. I don't know if they watch my live streams. I've told him privately. One couple. So that's why we do the King and Me show. Are we going to get it right? Nope. We are only 3 years in. We are vastly different on a lot of things. We understand each other's values. We're attracted to each other. And that is what we're hoping to showcase. We got a couple of comments and things in the building, so let me address these. Opie said people take things seriously. Hey, they did. They did, and I did it in jest. I had a couple of people comment and was like, yo, so was that real? Like, wasn't it real? And I'm like, I just ignored them. I didn't say anything. When I had some people who call my phone who they typically don't call, and I knew why they were calling. So I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about it on my live stream tomorrow. Idle hands, right? Hey, shout out to this Darren. I appreciate you pulling up. Sending you prayers, peace, and prosperous vibes as you traverse this shutdown and pause and pay. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I need to do more AI training so I can make it work for me. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I used YouTube University and I just Googled how to get better on AI prompts. LinkedIn has a couple of things that's out there that's free as well that I think is good because I don't just equate. Like I would pay, which I did. I've paid for what's that? Udemy, Udemy. They have some really good courses that you can pay for of people that have put together some very specific training on prompts. And it's like garbage in, garbage out. So how can you write the prompt to make the prompt work for you? And the great thing about ChatGPT versus the other ones is ChatGPT will ask you follow-up questions. And on some of those questions, it's like, oh, I haven't thought about that. Yes, please do that for me as well. Thank you. Which I've asked it early on. I hate that word asked. ASKED. I just don't like saying that. But I put a prompt in early on to like always do that. When it gives this analysis, I say, hey, as you're giving your analysis, suggest things that I didn't include in my prompt or other things to consider. So it does it every time. Paul over on Facebook said, dang, bro, you coming on these random times? Yeah, Paul, I need to get my life together. I need to get my life together and stick to a certain time. Coach Greg Adams, who is live right now, I don't suggest people follow him. He's funny. He's funny. He provides different type of commentary, but what he does is not, it is not for everybody. But he is consistent. He goes on live, same time, like that is his source of income. That is his job. And he goes 5 days a week at the same time. And they tell you in all of the classes that I've taken, I've bought some master classes on content creation. And I am not doing about 70% of what they suggest, but they do suggest if you're gonna go live or be a live streamer, right? Versus somebody that does videos where you produce pre-recorded content stuff that's edited and then posted. you want to go live at the same time so that people know when to expect you going live. I am actually taking today to figure that out for myself going forward. I could consider doing it the same time most evenings to factor in when I eventually do go back to work, or B, stick to the mornings, early in the mornings. That way I get my live streams, they're done, and then, it's up there for people that want to catch the replay. I am going to have some format structures because I want specific segments going forward that I want to present. Most things that matter to me that might matter to other people as well. Like, I'm a veteran, so I care about veteran related things. So I'm going to look at covering that and have a segment on that. And I like to look at things and wonder what I would have done differently as a backseat driver. And I'm looking at doing a segment like, what would you do? I watched a video earlier today because not only do I produce content, but I consume content as well. And there was a guy who was fighting for his kid and basically said that his baby mama is a baby mama terrorist and that she was wrong for what she did that caused him to be in the predicament that he was in. And he made a case, or was trying to present a case to the cops that pulled up, that said that anytime the mom in these child custody things do something wrong, they get their hand slapped. But when the father does something wrong, the cops get called and shows up immediately. And he ended up foreshadowing what was going to happen to him. And in my opinion, he was right, but he didn't fight it the right way. And I'm going to talk about that one tomorrow. I'm actually going to showcase the video because I'm curious what other people would have done, or if people think like me that say, well, yeah, King, he was right and he shouldn't have been arrested and all this and that. I don't think how you're presenting it is right either. So I'm going to have a segment like that. And then I do want to highlight positive things, positive stories, positive people. And I've tried that in the past. It's difficult finding positive stories. There are a lot more negative things that's easy to present because the negative things are sensational. It makes the headlines. Other stuff don't. As Darian said, generally people enjoy drama more than doing things well. Lots don't scroll social media to find happy stories. Bingo. It's funny. I didn't see that comment when I just made my statement a few seconds ago, but that's exactly how it is. Stevie said, I agree with you. You be you. They will talk anyway if it is perceived negative. Man, I wish I could star that and keep that up here for the rest of this stream. I had to learn that. I didn't learn that until, I'm 41 now. Maybe 2016, 2017. So 10, 11 years ago. So 30s, 31, 32. That's when I really learned to just be yourself because people are going to talk about you regardless. I'm going to be straight up. It used to impact me when I was perceived a way that I wasn't, or when I was trying to do something. I'm like, man, I'm not a bad dude. So why are you looking at me this way? Why are you perceiving me as something that I'm not? What did I do to you that made you not like me? I used to care about that. Like, not that I would sit up late at night thinking about it, but when I would learn that somebody felt the type of way about me, it bothered me. It bothered. Now, I don't care because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day what somebody thinks about you. It truly doesn't. And I wish I would have learned it at a younger age. I think if you can understand that at a younger age, it allows you to thrive a little bit more efficiently in whatever lane that you're in. I didn't get that when I was in the military. I got it well after I was out of the military. Stevie said relationships are very complex. Yes, they are. And it's why Michelle and I can talk about relationships and things like that, there's no right way to really do something. But you can learn things about yourself that can enhance you having a more favorable outcome for you. And a good bit of it is really learning what to tolerate and what not to tolerate. I think about some things in my past relationships that I cringe at the fact that I used to tolerate things. And I was not the best person myself. Let me raise my hand. I want to put that out there. I was not the person that always did the right thing. I've made my share of mistakes. I am going to make more mistakes in the future. That also doesn't excuse the fact that if something was occurring or something happened, I would let things slide because I would typically go, I feel like I know what the person's going to say back to me if I try to address them. So I'm just going to stay silent. And that's the wrong thing to do. It also forces you to lead and live a better life and showcase, right? Lead with actions. Do the things that you are discussing, the things that you're saying, so that people can't come back afterwards and be like, well, you're more of a do as I say and not as I do type person. So why should I listen to you? Why should I allow you to have influence on me? You're not doing this. And as a logic-minded person, I don't have an argument back for that. I can tell you, well, yeah, but think about that impact. And if you don't want that impact, then at least consider what I'm telling you. But it's hard to get people to see that and understand it. And I get that. As Darian said, I've learned sometimes you have to be the villain in someone else's story. What someone else thinks about you is none of your business. We got 2 bars today. That's another one that, man, hold on. Let me screenshot this. Where's my phone at? I like that. Let me take a photo of that. That might be a whole title of a live stream. Yes. I used to want to be loved, liked. Sometimes you have to be the villain and be comfortable with that and be okay with that. Yes, 100%, man. I'm glad that you said that, man. Thank you. 2 whole bars today. I've got an exam that's coming up. I'm looking at taking my CompTIA Security Plus. Got some backup things that I'm looking at doing in regards to generating additional income while the government shutdown is happening. I'm considering getting my CDL, but everything has its pros and cons, and there's something that you learn in business called trade-offs. There's a trade-off to every decision that you make. Every decision, I'm going to say that again louder, me speaking to the microphone. There is a trade-off for every decision that you make in life. Pros and cons. And you have to consider if there's value to what you're doing to determine if it's worth it for you. If you choose to wake up late, if you choose to not groom yourself, if you choose to not study, if you choose to not eat because you're late, and then you get to work, and then your blood sugar crashes, and then you're in the hospital, and now you're missing work. Like, every action has a consequence or something to it. If I spend the money that I need to spend to get my CDL, that's less money that I have for other expenses and things, not knowing when I'm going to have my next check coming in. My lady and I were looking at moving at the end of this year, but with the government shutdown, we can't make that move work. If I use a company to help procure my CDL, now I owe that company. If I get a loan, now I'm adding debt to something to cover the expense for getting my CDL that I'm now paying more money for, down the line. So when you're grown, these are the things that you have to consider. At one point, my decisions were, how am I going to eat this week? Knowing that I was paycheck to paycheck and that I wasn't going to get any additional money until a certain date. Now, I'm not worried about that. I've got my bills covered. I've got expenses covered. I even have, even in my budget using AI, I have what I know is discretionary income for each month over the next 6 months, right? So I'm not going to be just shut in. Let's say I didn't do things like drive for Uber or Lyft, substitute teach, get my CDL and just run a truck over the road until the government decides to open back up. I don't have to get income between then and now and be okay, but it would be nice to help build that cushion so that I don't have to go into savings or I don't have to take out a loan to reduce my net worth just to cover things while our senators and our elected officials decide to work together to open back up the government. Got a couple of other comments here. Opie said, bridges are always wise to build no matter if crossing is needed. Absolutely, man. I've burned a couple of bridges. Yeah. I have burned some bridges, but I'm okay with burning some of those bridges too. I think that it's good to have, and it depends on the context of what you're using that bridge for. But you definitely want to have a bridge that's built as a lane or an avenue that you could use should you need it. 100%. And that goes to like people as well. If you're a shut-in and if you're somebody that you're not a people person, most of the opportunities that I've gotten have been because of people. And I forgot what book really highlights that because I read a lot of different books on leadership, management, people, and things like that. But it's been people that have offered up the opportunities that I've been able to take advantage of. One of the how I got the job now was through somebody who I went to high school with that I am no longer friends with. Like we had a big falling out 6 years ago, 7 years ago, huge falling out. I think I've blocked him. We don't talk. Even if he reached out to me extending an olive branch, I wouldn't accept it. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. But when we were tight, the opportunity that I have now is because of him. I have to give him credit for making me aware of an intern position and then strongly advising me to apply for it. I was living in Kansas at the time. The intern position was in DC. I was getting out of I was already out of the Air Force at this time. Got retired due to a bad heart. And this person offered the position, made me aware of the thing and was getting on me almost every 3 days. Have you applied? Have you applied? Have you applied? I finally applied, not really knowing if I was going to accept it or not. And I'm thankful that I did. Absolutely thankful. But that was an opportunity because of a bridge that was at least built and open at the time. I have burned that bridge. Did he burn it? I would say he burned the bridge. I'm gonna take that back. Hold on. He burned the bridge. Because we don't talk anymore. He was disrespectful first. I'm respectful to everybody until you're disrespectful to me. Then I don't have a reason to respect you anymore. That's how I operate. Like, I don't have to like you, but I will respect you until you are disrespectful towards me or like around me. I'm no longer friends with somebody else who was, I would see them be disrespectful to everybody, but they were never disrespectful to me until they were. But I excuse how they talk to their own siblings, how they talk to their mother at one point. And I even said something to this person saying, hey, like, you might want to, no, you blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't understand. So I'm like, okay. Then one day I said something that they did not appreciate, and they went off on me very disrespectfully. And what I said to them wasn't disrespectful. So when they burned that bridge, I happily helped light the fire so that that bridge would stay permanently burnt. It's Darian who said, with the shutdown, people can call their mortgage company to get a delay. Some credit card companies will waive fees as well. Nothing wrong with stocking cash during this period. Let's stick on that. I actually had a note to talk about that later, but let's talk about it now. There are, one of the reasons why I like social media is that people will compile information of things that you can use as resources, right? Not everything is going to apply, but some things could apply for you. The information is out there. You just have to choose to accept it. So Reddit had a compiled list of things that you can do, stuff that you can consider, and even the laws behind it, or the websites or screenshots of things that different banks or businesses have said. You can call your mortgage company. You can call your different credit cards. You can, I called my bank that has financed my auto loan to ask what options are available. They tell you the options, and then you make a decision on if you want to use it or not. And if they're going to offer waivers, no late fees, and things like that, take it. We can defer 1 or 2 payments, blah, blah, blah. I say stockpile the cash. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. I'm going to say contact the businesses, the banks, who's ever financing, and ask them what options you do have available. Because what you don't want is to have an emergency come up and you have no access to cash. You have no access to anything, and now you're stuck like Chuck. If y'all can hear that work that's being done in the background, let me know, because I have a window open. I might have to close the window. But there's some work being done just right outside. But yes, take advantage of that by calling the businesses and asking. Here's the script. Hi, my name is, say your name. I'm calling to figure out what options are available to me, as I am a government employee that is impacted by the government shutdown. I am currently on furlough and I have a furlough letter. Every place or business that I've called didn't require me to use my furlough letter. I'm choosing not to file for unemployment because I have an additional source of income that is helping keep me afloat. But everybody's situation is different. The best thing that you could do is you could at least have knowledge about what options are out there and then exercise those options. Leveraging options. Those are my words that I've heard another content creator say, that when you understand what it means to have leverage and what it means to have options, the sky is the limit. Having leverage and options in everything really opens up doors for you. But you truly have to understand what it means to have leverage and options. You get leverage by building things up for yourself, equity in things. It typically works better for you to have leverage when you own the things that you're using, right? So that's what having equity means, essentially. And then having options is more about diversifying things than just being, pigeonholed into one area. Like I said earlier, I was considering getting my CDL. After my divorce in 2019, or actually during my divorce, as things were looking sideways and we went from two incomes down to one, or like co-incomes, to, hey, this is my money, this is your money. We know we're getting divorced, so let's operate this way instead of like one pot. I've been a registered driver for Uber and Lyft. Like, I did that for several years while I had to dig myself out. And I still have my account. What's the bad part about that? I live in the DMV area, and other government workers who are laid off are also looking at that as an option. Give me another option for yourself, King. Can I start up a business between now and this government shutdown? Possible. I treat my live streams as a business, but it's not generating income to replace my current work situation. I qualify to substitute teach. I'll pass a background check, all of that jazz. I used to have a TS, top secret clearance. It's expired. Have I looked for top secret jobs? Yes. Most of those jobs want you to have a active one, or one that was at least active. I forget if it's 12 months or within the last like 18 months. I'd still qualify for one because I don't have any bad marks that would not make me a candidate. And I've tried to leverage the fact that I used to have one, and reached out to a couple of different companies, but if it's not current, they aren't really looking for you. Opie said, beware of those who offer money for free. Know what's not free. Be knowledgeable before making decisions. Having that knowledge, man, that right there is the thing. I've made some bad decisions in life because I didn't have knowledge on what the future consequences were. And there's nothing wrong with asking for advice. I will still know an answer, but will ask people and AI for advice to maybe think about things that I'm just not thinking about. And there is nothing wrong with that. I got two people who I trust that I know aren't just Team Smith, that they are going to challenge my thoughts on something. And I think that it's good to have people that you know who are going to challenge your thoughts, as that can kind of help you grow and things like that. Great show. You are killing it. You are helping people. I hope so, man. I hope so. I tell everybody, if you have the ability, you have a microphone and you have a voice, use it. Even you, Opie, you know some things that can help out somebody else. People are going to like you for you or not, right? But the best thing that you could do is you could just present your information. My mother-in-law used to have a cooking show because she can get down. Wait, mother-in-law, stepmother. Yeah, my dad's wife. She used to have a cooking show. I used to help her out, and she stopped the cooking show because I didn't necessarily honor my commitment in staying on top of doing the edits for her. I'll raise my hand and say, yeah, I'll definitely take the blame on that. Her cooking videos are still getting views and comments. I wish she would still do it, but I know I can't convince her to change her mind. My dad does 2 videos a week around the Bible, where he'll read Bible verses and he'll talk about the Bible verses. His channel's small, but it's growing. He's been consistently doing it for about 2 or so years now. I think he needs to improve his frequency. I also think he could help by going live. He is fully retired now. I'm trying to consider, hey, Pops, if you're listening, that should be the next content piece that you do. Do your pre-records 2 days out the week, but have a dedicated live stream day. Opie said, ask those who have nothing to gain by your decisions. That's another bar too. Right there. You do want to reach out to people that have nothing to gain by your decisions. I sent a text message out to someone today that I asked her, I said, hey, when you have time, I'd like to pick your brain for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let me know when it's a good time to call you. And I know she's busy now, but I didn't want to forget that. This is somebody who I went to her ribbon cutting ceremony. I posted the picture of it. She just received her doctorate in, I forget what it was in, but she does EDMR therapy, EDM. This is the bad part about doing live streams. If you have good recall, it's great. I don't have the best recall. But she is a veteran herself. She was a veteran of the Army. She's written 2 books. She's attended Toastmasters like I have. That's helped her with her speaking, or help, sharpen her speaking. She has a business that is registered with the local city as a veteran. What is it? Veteran. I was just looking at this. Minority business enterprise. Minority business veteran enterprise, veteran-owned small business. A VSBE, veteran small business enterprise. Having those type of designations can help when the state, or if you get it recognized federal, which our government does a good job about continuing to give back to veterans. And I'm going to make a small pivot. Lately, a lot of the benefits for veterans have come into question where they're talking about Congress, or talking in Congress and things, and they're wondering if it's too much. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to offer my opinion, and then I'm going to go back and get on script. In my opinion, it's not enough. Jobs like, I'm critical of police, but it's one of those things that you're law enforcement. You are not the law yourself. And when for those that are innocent based on the law, it frustrates me to see law enforcement infringe on people's rights on camera and not care. And then for about 9 out of 10, there's no penalty for them infringing. There's no, it's more of a slap on the wrist for the most part. Now, some people do see jail, some people are heavily penalized, but it seems like it's few and far in between. And the majority of interactions between cops and civilians are legit. Let me not sit here and say that a majority is not. No, a majority is legit. A majority of the interactions are legit interactions, and it's not hokey pokey type stuff. I got pulled over a couple of months back now, and the cop used my tag as a reason to pull me over, but it wasn't the tag that was the main reason. It was a combination of things that then caused him to ask probing questions that then frustrated me, and I failed miserably. Failed. Failed. I failed miserably. And looking back, I'm like, I knew better. I knew better than to get frustrated. I knew better than to go down that fishing expedition. But it also taught me to use my Fifth Amendment. Stay the F silent. If you're going to get a ticket, they're going to give you a ticket. It is what it is. Now, I didn't get a ticket. I just got a warning. But when I look back at it, the reason for the pullover was it legit was BS. I had a vanity cover that covered like part of the state, part of Maryland. I live in Maryland. I don't mind saying that. Part of the state, but you can still see that it said Maryland, but like the bottom 2/3 was showing, so the top 1/3 wasn't. And when I have time, which I do now, I'm going to show, I think I still have the license plate cover, and the plate. Oh, I turned the plate in recently, actually. Nah, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I did. I've been taking photos of other people's plates. I'm like, that's not legal. That's not legal. And like, depending on the interpretation of the law, they could use that to pull you over as a pretext to like look for other things. And that's illegal in itself, but it's not illegal for them to say, oh, this there's a statute that says that you can't have anything that can obstruct the view of your window shield. But if you have one of those scent things that hang from your rearview mirror, they could use that as a pretext to pull you over. And then if there's a firearm and you're a felon, if they smell any weed, if there's alcohol, like they could get you on that stuff and actually legally pull you over for a bulb light that's out over your back plate if you're driving at night. I got pulled over for that one. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs and things like that. But I got pulled over for my license plate light was inop, and I got a fix-it ticket for it. On one hand, okay, but when I read the statute doesn't say anything about you. All of the lights need to be operational. You need to have it lit enough so that it's readable. And observationally, it was readable. Now you can't say, well, King, he did you a favor, because what if the other lights were out? You know, I'm like, well, you know, whatever. But in that, when you know like what's going on, when they pull you over and they're asking you questions and things, you don't have to answer those questions. Where are you coming from? You don't want to talk to me? You have your license, registration, and proof of insurance? Do you still live at this address? Why don't you want to speak right now? Do you have something to hide? Have you been drinking? Do you see what I'm doing? Shutting my mouth, not saying anything. Learn that. I got once for getting frustrated, and then the cop tried to not necessarily use things. I got a couple of phone calls here. I'm going to have to end my live stream here in a minute. Hey, the person who I asked for some time just told me what time that they had available. All right, that's great. I have a lot of respect for police. I don't have respect for those that abuse the position, because like it has to be the worst feeling to detain somebody who they've done nothing wrong. There are people that have absolutely earned themselves getting arrested, placed in handcuffs and things, that have certainly violated things and have earned them cuffs. But it really frustrates me when it happens to people clear as day that shouldn't be arrested, but somebody has an ego trip and they don't follow policy and just get a slap on the wrist. The Real CP Show 7386. That's a new name. Hey man, I appreciate you popping in and said not bad seed ones. Yeah, like I said, I don't, you know, it's the bad seeds that I don't like. And it's those that you see something that's wrong, that's against policy and the law. Policy doesn't supersede law. Let's just say that. Now people understand that as well. Policy does not supersede law. Governments would try to make it seem as though, or organizations would try to make it seem as though it does or it can. Policy does not supersede law. Ignorance of a law sucks. It can get you hemmed up. But the smarter you are about law, the wiser you are when being able to make certain decisions. I watched a video of a guy where this was in Florida. He was at a public park. He was on his bicycle. He was eating a sandwich. He got done eating the sandwich. He smoked a cigarette real quick, and he put the cigarette out and was about to drive off when the cop stopped him. And the cop was trying to ID him, and he's like, "No, you're not. I'm leaving." So then the cop tried to make the claim that there's an ordinance where you can't smoke at public parks. And the cop was flat out wrong. There used to be an ordinance in which you could not smoke in public parks, because the guy made the argument. It was like, well, I don't see a sign, which, great point. The cop was trying to say that, well, there's signs like around here. He's like, well, find them, point them out to me. Cop couldn't do it. You know why? About a year prior, they rescinded that ordinance, and there was no ordinance within that city and the state of Florida that said that you could not smoke at public parks, at least not in that area. So while the state had rescinded it too, some cities still kept it. Others decided to do away with it. So they took the signs off. So in places with clearly posted signs, it was part of the ordinance. Now somebody just came in my door. It was clearly a part of the ordinance, and you have to have those signs posted. So the guy ended up getting a resisting arrest without violence charge. The cop didn't hit him on the public smoking thing, but he tried to trespass him. And eventually the guy fought it and had the trespass rescinded and had the other charges dropped, because the cop was actually ignorant that the ordinance was rescinded and it was no longer a valid ordinance. Like in the spot, it should be one of those things that you have to prove that the ordinance existed to continue wasting somebody's time. This is a current ordinance, so let me enforce it. Or, I believe this to be a current ordinance. I'm going to detain you. Go look real quick. Yep, I could charge him on this. Boom. Right? But that type of stuff's not happening. I'm going to be live tomorrow, and Paul had a good point. Paul had a good point. Like, this time's a good time for me. But when I get back to work, I can't go live at this time because I work 7:30 to 5 p.m. Eastern. So I either A, do a daily evening stream, which some evenings it won't be at a certain time because of my other live stream obligations. I do the King and Me on Mondays, the sports bar on Wednesdays. So maybe I just have a daily morning show. Grab me some coffee. Well, I can't drink coffee like that because of my heart. But have like a morning show where I kind of get my thoughts off, see what's going on out there in the world, and share some thoughts, some advice. See what y'all have to like. I don't just do these shows just for me to contribute. It's Darian have dropped some gems in the chat. Opie has dropped some gems in the chat. Paul has dropped some gems in other chats. I learn by doing these live streams myself. People will say something. They'll make a book recommendation. They'll throw something out there that I'll go, ooh, let me take a screenshot of it so that I can go and do some research. Ponder and reflect on things myself so that I can grow. And that's what I plan on doing during this furlough. I'm not going to be stagnant during this furlough. I'm going to take the time and the opportunity to build on some things, work on my physical fitness. Now that I have a little bit more time, I want to build a solid foundation. And when the government opens back up, I'll have a better foundation that's built on that when I have to reshuffle my time, I'll at least have a better foundation built upon, better habits. I've got some bad habits. I don't necessarily sleep at the same time. I don't eat at the same time. You know, I need to definitely work on building some better habits. I am aware of that, and I plan on working on it. As Darian said, it's not enough for those who have sacrificed their life for our freedoms. I also think it's deplorable that TRICARE for Life would stop coverage for ZEP for service people who need it. And he put diabolical in all capital letters. That was, did they go back on that? I thought I read somewhere that they might have gone back on that. I share with you, it's Darian, and I think you came over from me talking about ZepBound, that I don't have TRICARE for Life. I have TRICARE Prime. Thankful for that, 100%. And that's how I got my ZepBound coverage. I tried to get it covered through the Veterans Affairs, and that was a whole struggle. And when I talked to other veterans, it was a whole struggle. Healthcare is another one of those things that I could have a whole live stream on, as I've gotten a little bit better of an understanding. Like, I'm grateful. I don't understand how people that have other, like, I'm thankful that our nation is doing what it's doing for our veterans. If I didn't have TRICARE Prime or the VA, I might be making might have had to make some choices or decisions. Now, as a federal worker, I have access to that marketplace, which has good health care. Do y'all remember when, if you were out there dating or considering somebody for a relationship, it's like, what are they benefits package looking like? Oh man, a brother like me is gold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that wants to take a look at me. I am in a relationship. Michelle, I say this as a joke. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that is looking at me and they're thinking this.
I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along. Partner, I want to sing a song just for you. 'Cause you're my special friend. Special friend. You're my special friend.
I'm pretty sure some people go, oh, he's retired military? I want King to be my special friend. All right, that's my time. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I will be live tomorrow. Should I commit to a time now and stick to it? Yes, I'm going to be live at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to do it. Yes, live at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Early coffee thoughts, early Tuesday vlog. Showcase this story that I read that I thought was interesting. To everybody that has watched, thank you. If there's a like button and you hadn't hit the like button yet, do me a favor, mash that like button. I appreciate you tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday. Thanksgiving's coming up here in a couple of weeks. I know it's going to be a struggle for a lot of people. If you have a community, reach out to your community. Don't just pretend like everything's okay. If it's not, use your mouth. Open your words. I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving with my daughter. She asked to spend Thanksgiving with me, and I'm thankful for that. We don't have to. I'm going to talk about this real quick. My kid's mother and I are amicable. Our daughter now does not have to do a court-mandated Well, this is your year. The other year is the other parent's year. She's at an age that she can choose who she wants to spend time with. That sucks. I also, as an adult, when my parents got divorced, if I wanted to spend time or see my parents or things like that, because they didn't live in the same city once they got divorced, figure out who to make time with, right? Eventually, our daughter, when she becomes grown and I make the move to where I move, or she moves where she moves, she being our kid, she's gonna, have to make those same decisions that I had to make. It's like, hey, I got the holidays here. I'm gonna spend time with my parents, but they don't live in the same area. So where am I gonna go? This year, she wants to spend Thanksgiving with me, and I'm thankful for that. If she said she wanted to spend Thanksgiving with her mom, I would support that 100%. But there is gonna come a time, I decide to get out the US and get some type of special visa in Greece or another country. She's not going to have the easier access to be able to do that. So I say that because I'm reflecting on thankfulness early. I'm thankful for my health, thankful for the people that I could call friends. Michelle, I and Kelso are going to be spending Thanksgiving with a homie and his family that lives a little bit, down the road. We're going to show up. We're going to bring some things. We're going to laugh and watch some football. All right. But there's a lot of time between then and now. A lot of, things can happen, both good and bad. So if you're listening to this and you have the ability to be thankful for what you do have and those that you can call good, solid people around you. That's my message. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal rope, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Bring